I'd like to take this moment now to introduce a good friend of mine, Michael J. Fitzpatrick, Assemblyman Fitzpatrick. He was elected to New York State Assembly, representing the 7th Assembly District in November of 2002. Fiscal conservatism is the name of the game today. And Mike is one of the best advocates that I know of, that we have in New York State for fiscal reform, and he's known as the most conservative New York State Assemblyman that there is. Mr. Fitzpatrick is currently fighting to reform New York State taxpayer-funded pensions for all politicians. Mike recently decided to step aside from his campaign to run for Congress in the 1st Congressional District in order to support Chris Cox and also to continue on his re-election campaign to the Assembly. And I know that he'll continue to work against the liberal tax and spend policies of our friends from New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce my good friend, and hopefully a good friend of yours, New York State Assemblyman Mike Fitzpatrick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm here with my wife Lorena, my daughter Karina, to support Chris and to thank you for supporting him financially and supporting him in this very important campaign. This is a very winnable race, in spite of what some of those other political pundits may say. It looks like a three-way primary, but we have the best candidate. We have someone who has roots in Long Island, a young entrepreneur with a lovely fiancée who is at his side, and she's doing an outstanding job. And while Chris is a young candidate, he is wise beyond his years because he had the benefit of growing up in a political household, and I know a little bit about that too. My father was a town supervisor. I grew up in the business, and Chris knows very well what that is like. And it doesn't make any of us who grew up in the business any better than any other candidate, but we do bring a unique perspective and a level of experience, having grown up in that environment, that someone who doesn't have that benefit has. So this is a critical election. The pendulum is swinging back to conservatism. I know we have a big job up in Albany to do, and I know we have a huge job to do in Washington. And Chris, by the benefit of his experience, from how he grew up, he has a great team around him, and I know all of us, his fellow elected officials here who support him, we're building that support. We have support from people like Gary Bernson, who's running for Senate. Gary and I went to high school together. I remember Gary, we were friends. Outstanding candidate for Senate. And I think we have a real opportunity here. And I am very proud to be supporting Chris Cox for Congress. I ask you to do the same. If you can write a check, thank you. But most important is please contact as many of your friends as you possibly can. That's what it's going to take. You win it on the ground, especially in a primary. And I look forward to September 14th. All of us can gather again and celebrate the most important victory of the 435 congressional races this year. New York 1 is the most important one. Chris is going to win it with the help of all of us, but it's going to be won on the ground. Thank you very much.